All right, let's start styling our divs. First, make sure that you have this selectors window expanded so that you can see this list. We're going to style the container first. So click the container div from the list, and in the selectors window, press the plus sign, and you'll see that a new selector appears. The selector is going to allow us to add styles to the div. So we need a width of 960 pixels. We need to have a top and bottom margin of 0 and left and right margins of auto. And in order to do this, we're going to go ahead and the top and bottom are already set to 0, but let's make sure that this little link icon is broken. If I was to set this left margin to auto with this link unbroken as it is now, all of our margins will change to auto. So I want to click this to make sure that it looks like a broken link, and I want to change my make sure that my top and bottom are set to 0 pixels and my left and right are set to auto. Let's also, in the background, change our background to white. So the color code for white is 6Fs. That's pure white. Okay, next thing we're going to style is the header. So let's click on our header div. In the selectors window, click the plus sign. It adds a selector named container and header. What this means is that the header is descendant of the container. In other words, the header is nested inside of the container. And this is showing the hierarchy. But we only need the header part. So let's choose the up arrow on our keyboard, and it will eliminate the first part of the name, and then we'll hit return. All right, make sure header is selected, highlighted, and let's go back to the properties panel to apply some styles. So for the header, we're going to choose the text properties, and we're going to choose text align center. Next div that we're going to style is sidebar, so choose sidebar. Click the plus sign to add a selector, the up arrow to shorten the name, press return, make sure sidebar is selected. Go to the layout button. For the width, enter 180 pixels. And then let's choose float left. Now let's choose content, add a selector, shorten the name, make sure that we're in our layout properties, make the width 770 pixels. Let's choose float left. Let's choose enter 10 pixels for padding left. And then let's select the footer div. Add a selector, shorten the name, choose our text properties, text align center, and go to layout, scroll down, choose clear both. We can eliminate this footer header. We don't need that. So I'm going to, in the code, make sure that I get the paragraph tags surrounding the footer header. I'm going to delete those and refresh. All right, so let me go back to design view. You can see that we're starting to get more of a structure to our page. We've got a header, footer, and a sidebar where we have our navigation. So let's preview in a browser. We can go to our preview button, choose the browser that you'd like to preview in. Make sure you save your changes, and we should have a layout that's starting to look something like this. What we're going to do is assign a color to each one of these divs, just so that we can see the structure of our page. Let's apply it to the header, the sidebar, the content, and the footer divs. So if I click on header, if I'm in background, I have a background color undefined. We can choose any color. I would suggest choosing some color that is kind of a lighter, kind of a pastel color so that we can still read our text. And each one of these colors should be different. We want to be able to tell each one as a separate part of our page. Okay, let's go over into live view. So let's choose live, and let's make that our entire area here. And we notice that we have a gap between the header area and the content area. So we're going to fix that. Let's select our Werewolves Unlimited Security Services text, and in the ID field of the property window, let's type in header dash name, and then let's go to our CSS designer window, selectors, click plus, and just make sure it's shorten the name to header dash name, and let's in our layout, let's go to the margin and type in 0px for 0px for top margin. Now let's select our tagline text. For the ID, let's type header dash tagline. Let's click plus in the selectors list, shorten the name to header tagline, header dash tagline, and for the margin, let's choose type in 0px, and that will close up that gap. Now let's style our footer. Let's find the UL tag inside of our footer div. Click that. add a selector, shorten it to footer UL. In the text category, let's select list style type and choose none. We'll click the first LI tag in the list, create a new selector, and in the layout category, choose display inline. Okay, a couple of details. For the title, here's what wolves can do for you. Let's select that title and format that as heading 3. Let's delete the asterisks in this list right below it, and we'll go into the code to do that. Go into your code view, and let's just format this as an unordered list. So I'm going to just put the code right in there. So I'm deleting the breaks, and I'm putting in opening and closing list tags for each item. Okay, so there's our list. So let's take a look at our preview in our browser window. I'm just going to refresh. And this is what your final assignment 9 should look like when previewed in a browser. Before you hand in your assignment, you want to check to make sure that your links work. So under navigation, the home page should just go to index.html, which is the home page. About our team goes to a blank page. Services goes to a blank page. Rates goes to a blank page. Contact goes to a blank page. And then the same thing should happen when you test the links in the footer. Home page should stay where it is, or be linked to this home page. About our team, blank. Services, blank. Rates and contact, blank. In Dreamweaver, if we go to the code view and scroll to the top, we can see that CSS code has been inserted into our HTML file. And for each selector, we have attributes that match what we entered into the designer panel. So for example, if we go to container and we look at the attributes attached to our container selector, and we click on the container selector in our CSS designer, we can see that the attributes that we typed in here are showing up here in our code. And we can do that, we can check all of these to see that whatever shows up here is going to show up over here. So you're going to want to make sure that you hand in the entire assignment folder with the Chapter 3 folder inside of it. You're going to zip the entire thing and upload it to the assignment link.